Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss our new topic, single block brake or shoe brake. We will do analysis about this type of brake, which is a mechanical brake, and the type in mechanical brake is radial type, right? So radial mechanical brake we are going to discuss, which name is single block brake or shoe brake. So hello everyone, I am Ashish Pandey and this is our channel Learning the Basics. So let's move towards our new topic. See, the whole content has been taken from the book R.S. Khurmi of Theory of Machine. So this is the first slide. Look at this. In this single block brake or shoe brake analysis, there are total 3 cases and each case has 2 parts. So totally we have to discuss about 6 cases. So what mainly these 3 cases are? The 3 cases are when this fulcrum, see this fulcrum point O, this point O is a fulcrum. The fulcrum is on the line of action of this tangential force. The tangential force Ft you are seeing over here. The line of action of this tangential force is going through this fulcrum. It means this is the first case, and the wheel is moving in clockwise. See, the wheel is moving in clockwise direction. The wheel is moving in clockwise direction and the fulcrum is on the line of action of this tangential force Ft. So this is the case 1, part A. In part B, this wheel will move anti-clockwise direction and the fulcrum's position will be the same. In case 2, we will see that the fulcrum is above the line of action of this tangential force Ft. And there will also be 2 cases. Wheel will move in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Then in case 3, the fulcrum will be below this line of action. So let us discuss this case 1A. So the wheel is moving in clockwise direction. Here the block, this is the block, this part, this is the block, okay, and this block is rigidly fixed to this lever. This block is rigidly fixed to this lever. The angle which the block is moving at the center of this wheel is 2 theta. So this 2 theta is less than or equal to 60 degree. Remember this, you can write this on your notebook. This 2 theta, which is the angle made by the block on the center of the wheel, is less than or equal to 60 degree. So why less than or equal to 60 degree? So that we can assume uniform pressure applied by the between the uniform pressure between the wheel and the block. So for 2 theta less than or equal to 60 degree, there will be uniform pressure we can assume. Now let us see the direction of the forces. See, your applied effort is P. The P effort you are applying on the brake. So P effort here, this P in downward direction you are applying. When you apply this effort P, the block comes into contact with the wheel, okay, and the wheel is moving in clockwise direction. So when this block comes into contact with this wheel, there 2 forces come into action. The first one is the reaction of the block of the wheel towards the block. This Rn, you are look at this Rn. This Rn force in the pink color, look at the arrow, it is in the upward direction. So this Rn is the reaction force on the block. Next is the tangential force. This is also the frictional force acting between the wheel and the block. Since we are discussing the block, so look at the block. See, wheel is moving in clockwise direction. So then the friction on the wheel will be in anti-clockwise direction, means here the friction on the wheel will be in this direction, opposite to the shown direction on the wheel. But on the block the direction it will be as shown. The tangential forces direction or the frictional forces direction will be as shown in the figure, this direction Ft. So in this way you can understand the forces acting on this whole system. Now let us discuss the distances from the fulcrum. So the distance of this reaction force from the fulcrum O is x. This distance is x. Here this is x. Where you apply the load or you applied the effort, the distance from the effort to the fulcrum is L. This L is the distance between the effort and your fulcrum. Okay, see what is the fulcrum. Here for your simplicity you can understand that this is the point about which we will take all the moments at the equilibrium condition. Just for your simplicity assume this. Okay, otherwise in any type of lever you can see what is fulcrum very easily. Like for example in scissors, if you have seen scissors, the point where the two parts of the scissors are hinged, that point is known as fulcrum, right? So this is the fulcrum. Applied load, tangential force, the reaction force Rn, the angle made by the block at the center of the wheel is 2 theta, and this 2 theta is less than or equal to mu, so that we can assume uniform pressure. So this Ft is tangential force or frictional force. So the value of the frictional force we know that Ft is equal to mu Rn. Here in equation 1 you can see that Ft is equal to mu Rn. We will say this as tangential force or frictional force, right? So if you want to find the braking torque, so the braking torque, so what is torque? Torque T is equal to force into perpendicular distance. So this force Ft is acting on in this direction, and this force into perpendicular distance will be the radius from the center of the wheel. This will be the torque acting on the wheel, right? So the braking torque will be equal to this torque. So the braking torque will be Ft into Rn. So right, braking torque is equal to Ft into R. R is the radius, small r is the radius of the wheel. So Tb is equal to Ft into R, and Ft is what? Mu into Rn. So Tb will be equal to mu into Rn into R. This is the equation number 2. Now I have told you all the forces, the direction of forces in this figure. So for equilibrium condition we know that there are three equations. Sigma Fx is equal to 0, which means algebraic sum of all the forces acting in x direction or horizontal direction must be equal to 0. Second one is sigma Fy is equal to 0. It means the algebraic sum of all the forces acting in y direction or vertical direction is equal to 0. And the third one is that the moments, algebraic sum of moments at about a point of all the forces acting on the system must be equal to 0. So here sigma Fx and sigma Fy is equal to 0 case will make the system more difficult, as we don't know the reaction at point O. So what will we do? For all our simplification, for our convenience, we will take moment about point O at the equilibrium condition of this system. So sigma MO must be equals to 0. For that purpose, let us see how you are taking the moment. So this is the point O about which we have to take moments. So there are forces P and Ft. P and Ft and Rn. Three forces are there which for which we have to take the moment. So taking moment about point O, let us assume that clockwise moment will be positive and anti-clockwise moment will be negative. So take moments of P into L. P is this force and the line of action of this force will be this. The distance of line of action from the fulcrum O is L. So P into L, in which direction? In this direction. This is what the direction is. This is the clockwise direction. It means positive. It means P into L will be positive, right? This one we have done it. Now go for Rn. Rn is acting in vertically upward direction. So Rn into the line of action, distance of line of action of Rn from O is x. So Rn into x, in which direction? This will be the direction. So this will be the anti-clockwise direction. So it will be minus. So minus Rn into x. Minus Rn into x. Now is there any force? The force Ft. So force Ft, the line of action of this force Ft is passing through this fulcrum. It means Ft into perpendicular distance will be 0. Ft into 0 will be 0. So this PL minus Rn into x is equal to 0 totally. Since Ft has become 0, the moment of the force Ft is equal to 0, since its line of action is passing through the fulcrum, right? So its moment will be 0. Now total summation will be equal to 0. So PL will be equal to Rn into x. So the same thing over here is written here is Rn into x is equal to PL. PL is equal to Rn into x. Here we will see, right? So Rn into x will be equal to P into L, or Rn is equal to PL upon x. So this is our reaction we have find out. Now if you want to find the braking torque, so from the equation number 2 you can see that braking torque TB is equal to mu Rn into small r, where small r is the radius of the wheel. So TB is equal to mu Rn into small r. Put the value of Rn. The value of Rn is equal to P into L upon x. Put the value of Rn here and you will find this equation. TB is equal to mu P L R upon x, where mu is the coefficient of friction between the block and the wheel. Mu is the coefficient of friction between the block and the wheel. P is the applied effort and L is the distance of the applied effort from the fulcrum, and R is the radius of the wheel, and x is the distance of the center of wheel from the fulcrum, right? In this way you have find out about the case 1, right? So let us move towards case 2. So here case 1b. In this case the wheel is moving in anti-clockwise direction and all other things are same. All other parameters are same over here. So the angle made by the block is 2 theta, and 2 theta is less than or equal to 60 degree. So we can assume uniform pressure. In this case, look at the block. See, the wheel is moving in anti-clockwise direction. So the friction acting on the wheel will be in, this is moving in anti-clockwise direction, so friction will oppose its motion. It means the friction will be in clockwise direction on the wheel. When the block comes into contact into the wheel, the direction of the friction on the wheel is in clockwise direction. So on the block it will be in anti-clockwise direction, and we have to see the forces acting on the block. So on the block the frictional force will be on the left direction, and the line of action of this Ft is going through the fulcrum O. So for case 1, fulcrum and line of action of the tangential force are on the same line, right? Now applied effort is P as usual as in previous case. The distance x from the center of the wheel to the fulcrum, and the distance L is from the applied effort to the fulcrum distance. Now you can easily apply the same thing. Take sigma mo is equal to 0. So now taking moments about point O. Let us take moments about point O. So see, first one is P. P is the applied effort, and the distance of this force's line of action from fulcrum O is L. The distance between O and applied effort P is L. So P into L in this direction, and we have assumed this is the positive and this one will be the negative. So if we write over here, we will write P into L. P into L. Okay. Now other force is this Rn. Rn in upward direction. So Rn into Rn. The line of action of Rn is passing through the center of this wheel, and the distance from the center of wheel to the fulcrum is x. Rn into x in anti-clockwise direction. In anti-clockwise direction, so minus Rn into x. Rn into x, and one more force is there, that is Ft. So Ft, the force Ft is passing through the fulcrum. So the line of action is passing through the fulcrum. It means the perpendicular distance between the fulcrum O and the line of action of the force Ft is 0. That means the moment will be 0. So that moment will be 0. So plus 0 is equal to 0, right? So you will find the same equation as before. In case 1a, Rn is equal to PL upon x. Rn is equal to PL upon x. PL upon x. It means Rn is equal to PL upon x. It means the same equation you will find as in case 1a. As in case 1a. Right? So Ft is equal to mu Rn. Mu into Rn. Put the value of Rn, PL upon x it was, to mu PL upon x will be Ft. Ft will be equal to mu PL upon x. Now if you talk about braking torque, TB, so braking torque TB is equal to what? TB is equal to Ft into small r, where small r is the radius of the wheel. Put the value of Ft, that is mu PL upon x. So mu PL upon x into r will be the braking torque. So braking torque TB will be equal to mu PL r upon x. It means the values for case 1a and case 1b are same. So you can make notes by pausing the video. Okay. Now moving towards next case, or case 2. See, this is first part, case 2a, in which the wheel is moving in clockwise direction first, and the second thing in case 2 is that the line of action of this tangential force is below the fulcrum by the distance small a, right? This distance small a. Okay, this distance small a. See, this distance small a. So line of action is of this tangential force is passing through a distance, is not passing through the fulcrum, and is below the fulcrum with a distance of small a, right? So this is our case 2. The same thing you have to apply. You have to take the moments and sum all the algebraic sum of, take the algebraic sum of the moments equals to 0, and you will find the equation. So we just are going to see the what will be the moments. Okay, so the distances are same as in the previous cases. So let us take a moment about point O, means about fulcrum. So P into L, P into L. L is the distance of the line of action of P from the fulcrum. So P into L, this will be in clockwise direction, since see, you have to take moment towards the direction of the force which includes the point about which you are going to take the moments. It means if P is in this direction, then you will definitely move in this direction, so that this point O is covered, right? So this direction will be the clockwise direction. So P into L is the first case. See, wheel is moving in clockwise direction, So the friction on the wheel will be anti-clockwise direction. It means on the block the frictional force or tangential force will be in this direction as shown in the figure, right? So always look at the block, don't go for the wheel. On wheel you have to just take the direction in which direction the wheel is moving, so that you can find out the friction force direction on the wheel and consequently on the block, right? So the frictional force direction on the block is this direction, right? So P into L, Rn is acting in upward direction as in previous cases, so Rn into X, it is simple, and it will be in anti-clockwise direction. It means minus Rn into X. So P into L minus Rn into X, and now this Ft is not passing through the fulcrum. It means it will also apply some movement. So Ft is in this direction. In this direction, take this direction, the line of action, the distance of line of action of Ft to the fulcrum O is what? A. So Ft into A, and it will be in this direction, in anti-clockwise direction. So minus Ft into A. It means minus Ft into A and minus Rn into X is equal to plus P into L equal to 0. So PL will be equal to Rn into X. Here look at this equation, PL is equal to Rn into X plus Ft into A, right? Listen everything, and you can make notes by listening to the video. Just make notes and you will understand how this equation came. So PL will be equal to Rn into X plus Ft into A. Now Ft is the frictional force, so Ft is equal to what? Mu into Rn. Put Ft at the place of Ft, we have put mu into Rn. Solving this equation, we will find Rn. Take Rn common. If you take Rn common, you will get x plus mu into A. So take Rn common, you will get in bracket x plus mu A is equal to PL. So Rn is equal to PL upon x plus mu A, mu into A. Now you have find out the reaction. Now you can find out the braking torque, which is equal to Ft into small r, where small r is the radius of the wheel. So Tb is equal to Ft into small r. Ft is mu into Rn. Put the value of Rn from here and you will find the braking torque. So if you are asked for the tangential force or you are asked for the braking torque, you can easily find by applying the momentum equation, by taking the moment and making it equal to 0 by equilibrium equation, right? So this is the case 2a. In case 2b, the wheel will move in anti-clockwise direction, so the direction of tangential force will be changed and it will go in this direction. Let us move to the next slide. Here look at the case, the same is there. Fulcrum is above A, above from the line of action of this tangential force by the distance small a. P is the applied effort. The wheel is moving in anti-clockwise direction, so the direction of frictional force on the block has been changed and it is in this direction. Look at the direction of the Ft, right? So again taking the moments, so P into L clockwise, Rn into X anti-clockwise, Ft into A, this will also be, now this time Ft into A is in clockwise direction, so Ft into A will be added with the P into L. So P into L plus Ft into A is equal to Rn into X. So P into L plus Ft into A is equal to Rn into X, right? You can easily find how this equation came from the video. Next, take Rn common, you will get x minus mu A is equal to PL. Rn is equal to PL upon x minus mu A. So braking torque Tb will be equal to mu Rn into R, mu PL R upon x minus mu A. In this way you will find that how this braking torque can be achieved. This is the case 2b. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment box and I will definitely make sure that you will definitely get how these equations are coming, right? So now let us move towards the case 3a. So in case 3a, see over here, now the fulcrum is below. here the fulcrum is below the line of action of this ft. Line of action of ft is above the fulcrum by the distance a, right? Now the wheel is moving in clockwise direction. Again take the moments and you will find p into l in clockwise direction, Rn into x in anti-clockwise direction, and if ft will take it the fulcrum in clockwise direction, so ft into a will be the moment of this tangential force in clockwise direction. So ft into a plus p into l is equal to Rn into x. That is the equation over here, right? So these are Rn is equal to pl upon x minus mu a, and again braking torque you can find it out, right? So look at this equation or this equation or this equation, any equation. Look at this equation. See, mu pl r upon x minus mu a is the case 3a, and look at this case 2b, mu pl r upon x minus mu a. It means case 2b and case 3a you are getting the same things, right? Remember this. It will be discussed later. Now next move to case 3b. In case 3b again the same things, just wheel will be moving in anti-clockwise direction, so the direction of frictional force will be in this direction. Again apply the moment and you will find p into l in clockwise direction, Rn into x in anti-clockwise direction, and ft into a in anti-clockwise direction. So Rn into x plus ft into a will be equal to p into l. In this way you will find Rn is equal to pl upon x plus mu, and you will get the braking torque Tb is equal to mu Rn into small r, that is mu pl small r upon x plus mu. This is the case 3b. So these all are the 6 cases of the single block brake or shoe brake, right? Moving towards next topic, this is self-locking brakes. I am going to discuss about this. So there were 2 cases in which we were getting PL plus FT into A. Here the case 3A, see, PL plus FT into A, it means PL plus mu Rn into A, and in case 2B here PL plus FT into A and PL plus mu Rn into A. What does it mean? It means that when you apply the effort, the frictional force adds to your effort. It means the frictional force helps to your efforts. It means if you are applying P effort, the frictional force will support your effort. Here see P into L plus mu R into A. It means the frictional force is adding to your PL. In this case, you will, if anyhow you put, see here, x minus mu a is equal to p into l. If anyhow this x is equal to mu a, see, x is equal to mu a, put if x is equal to mu a, then that time pl is equal to 0. It means p will be equal to what? 0. It means the applied efforts will be 0. The applied effort will be 0 and the brakes will be applied. It means without applying the effort, the brakes will lock. So for the case x is equal to mu a, if this distance x becomes equal to mu a, then you don't have to apply the effort. Without applying the effort, the brakes will lock. Such type of brakes are known as self-locking brakes, and this is the limiting condition. If you make the x less than mu into a, then also you will see that p is negative. If x is less than mu into a, this value will be negative. It means the p will be negative. It means you don't need to apply any effort to to apply the brake. It means the type of brake will be self-locking. So such type of brakes are self-locking. See, when the brake wheel rotates in anti-clockwise, shown as I have discussed the case 2b and case 3a. Go to the equation, you will find the equation like this. This is the further equations, and the same equation you will get in case 3a. So such type of brakes are self-locking brakes, and the condition for self-locking brakes is x is less than or equal to mu into a, right? Remember this is the condition for self-locking brakes. So this is all from my side for today. If you like the video and the way of describing the things, please subscribe and share the channel, Thank you very much. If you have any type of problem in the topics, you can comment in the comment section. I will take seriously all the comments. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe and share the channel. Thank you.